In this video, we're going to show you how you can integrate Burp Suite Enterprise Edition with SCIM when you're using Okta as your identity provider. Now before we start, you'll need to make sure that you've already created your users and groups within Okta, and you'll also need to have created the app integration within Okta for Burp, and also configured SAML within Burp to use Okta. If you need any help with this, you can view our documentation pages or watch our videos on our website. Now the first thing we're going to do is create an API token for SCIM. To do this, we'll go to Settings, Integrations, scroll down to SCIM, and click Configure. We'll need to choose a port for SCIM to work with. This can be any free port on your machine. I'm going to choose 1337. Okta require that any SCIM communication takes place over TLS. So we need to tick Use TLS and then upload our certificate. The requirements for the certificate are the same as any requirements that we have for certificates elsewhere in Burp. So if you need help generating the certificate, you can view our documentation pages. Once you've uploaded your certificate, it's important to take note of the base URL format. Now this is https:// the host of your enterprise instance, the ports you've chosen at the top, /SCIM/v2. Once you've made note of that, you can save and generate your API token. Now you need to make sure that you copy this token and save it somewhere else because you won't see it again. So I'm going to click Copy Token and then close this dialog. Now if you do forget your token, you can regenerate it at the top, but it's important to note that this will disable your old token. I'm just going to click Regenerate API Token here and then Generate New Token and then copy this token somewhere safe. Once you've done this, the next thing to do is to go into Okta and configure the SCIM integration. To do this, you'll need to go to the Okta administration page, go down to Applications, and then go to Applications in there. Then you'll need to find the application which you've configured to work with Burp. Once you're in here, you can go to General, Edit, and then tick Enable SCIM Provisioning. You'll need to then save this. The page will then refresh and you'll gain a new provisioning tab at the top. We're going to go there, click Edit, and then type in our SCIM connected base URL. This follows that format I was talking about before. So it's going to be https:// the host of your enterprise instance, the SCIM port which you've selected, so code on that port, /SCIM/v2. For the unique identifier field, you'll need to put in username with a capital M. For supported provisioning actions, we're going to choose push new users, push profile updates, and push groups. And for authentication mode, we're going to use HTTP header, where the authorization token is the token that we copied from Enterprise before. Once you've pasted that token in, we're going to click Test Connector Configuration. When you see the dialog which says that the connector has been configured successfully, you know that your integration works. So we're going to close this and then click Save. We now need to set the configuration within Okta for provisioning to app. To do this, we'll click Edit on this section which appears, and then we'll tick Create Users, Update User Attributes, and Deactivate Users. We'll then save that configuration. The next thing that we need to do is push the users and groups from Okta to Burp. Now to push the users, you've got two options. We'll firstly go to Assignments. So I'm going to assign for all users in my groups. So I'm going to go to Assign to Groups, and then choose my Burp Enterprise SCIM group, and click Assign. I'm going to click Save and go back, and then click Done. You should see your user now appear in People. You can also push groups to Burp. To do this, you can go to the Push Groups tab, click Push Groups, and then find the groups by the name. I'm going to push my developers group. This will push the group from Okta to Burp. So I'm going to click Save, and you can see here that the group is being pushed. And now the group is active. So if I now go back to Burp, you can see that my Carlos Montoya user has been pushed via SCIM. And if I go to groups, you can see that my developers group has been pushed by SCIM. Now, it's important to point out that users don't have any access to functionality unless you assign them to roles within the groups that you've provided through Okta. So I'm going to go to the developers group that I pushed, and I'm going to give them the administrator role. At this point now, the users have been pushed, the groups have been pushed, the users are assigned to their groups, and the groups have roles assigned to them. And that is how you integrate Burp with Okta and SCIM.